The Raiders, it is sweet, and it's getting closer and closer to being ready. So yesterday, the team opened the massive retractable stadium doors for the first time, revealing an 85-foot-tall Al Davis torch. They had that at the Coliseum in the corner, and a Raider luminary would light it before every game. I remember John Madden did it right when Al passed. It was actually really amazing. So that sits in the middle of a bar area that fans can access during games. The all-black and silver stadium's been compared to a futuristic spaceship. I call it, Darth Vader's crib.
Yeah.
It looks like something Darth Vader would hang in. That landed in the middle of the Vegas Strip. It's absolutely wild. In or out, the Raiders' new stadium is the best-looking stadium in the NFL.
I'm going to say out of bounds, BT. It's also been described as a Roomba. If you look at it from the top, it's a big circle. I think Cowboy Stadium, I think Jerry World is still so damn impressive, BT. I mean, have you been there yet?
I have not been to a game there.
So if you go to a game
right
there, I remember I went a couple of times, and I got lost because I was doing the game, and I got lost. Like, how do I get to the press box here? It's like that massive. And so I'm just walking around the stadium, and there's like, I mean, I don't want to say what art. Well, there's art, but there's like a Ford F-150 in the middle of the concourse. I'm not talking about like on the ground. I'm talking about like 10 stories up.
But what does that do?
It's entertaining. It's like a marvel of engineering and advertising, and we talked about this when they had the Super Bowl, the way that they position the seats. You can actually, lessen the distance between seats, so you can put like 16,000 more seats in there.
Yeah, that's true.
They have these poles where they have dancers on, and then they have it's the largest supported art structure in the world. So everything is on these two arches. Like architecturally, it just catches your eye. You're like, man, this thing is cool as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if I go see this new Las Vegas Raiders stadium, I'll change my mind. But right now, I think the Cowboy Stadium is great.
Well, we'll see it next year because, number one, 2 years because the draft is going to be there in 2 years. But we were going to see it this year because we were going to do our show for the draft. Obviously, everything got derailed there. Oh, boy. I'm going to say inbounds here, but I'm going to give it a little caveat here. Part of the stadium experience, and not so much like during the game because – you're going to be walking during halftime, like checking the lines for the second half. All right, we're lane 3. Oh, wow, F-150, that's gorgeous. Dallas lane 3.5. All right, let me get it into my bookie. Who cares? I mean, I don't get what I look at, first of all, the outside, which is amazing. The Raiders, it's just sick looking. But I also need to see night shots of, coming back from commercial, the topography, the aesthetics of the area. Now, I lived in Vegas, so I obviously know what it looks like, but I don't know. I mean, the desert's kind of boring. Now, the lights around it make it pop, obviously, all the casinos. But I want to see what it looks like when we're coming back to a Monday night or a Sunday night game, just judging the shell of the stadium. And by the way, Seattle Stadium, incorporating all the views and all that, that's top shelf as well. Just the actual structure, to me, it's absolutely the coolest. It looks mean. It looks futuristic. It looks sleek. I think it looks absolutely phenomenal. Like our stadium, the Jets and the Giants, but it looks like a 12-year-old's mouth after braces. I mean, it looks like braces. That's really what it looks like. All right, so the NBA moves forward. We know about this here, Teak. The 22-team restart. The Hawks now are on the outside looking in, meaning future Hall of Famer. I love this question. Vince Carter's career is over officially. Now some fans are demanding that Carter gets a proper send-off, with some saying he should suit up for one game next year. Matter of fact, I actually asked that or stated that to their coach, Lloyd Pierce, who was with us on Wednesday, but that's not happening. Would he come back just for a couple of minutes next year?
No way he can.
He might.
I think Vince is ready for that golf.
Is he? How's his game? Could he play?
He loved it. I know that much. I'm not a golfer, and I haven't been out there with him, but I know he's ready for it.
Okay, so inbounds, out of bounds. Vince Carter is the greatest dunker in NBA history.
It sounds like an odd question given, I don't know, Clyde Drexler or, Michael Jordan or Dominique. But I'm going to say inbounds to this one, BT. Maybe I'm biased and living in the moment, but I've just been looking at highlights of his dunks.
Yep.
Obviously, the one we remember when he was playing for Team USA and he dunked over that kid Weiss from France.
France.
God. He was
Nick draft pick, of course.
Dude was like 7'2" or whatever it was. And he went over.
I think he was.
Whatever, he went over him. But then, he
got that jock strap, right? Where you don't want that jock strap to go.
Exactly. It's like dragging him for an offensive lineman.
He was dragging him.
Right? An offensive lineman pancakes a guy. You drag him. That's what he did to Vice. But Vince Carter in Tampa, you should put this out on our social media channel so our fans can see this. He's ranking his top 10 dunks. And some of them, it's like the one in the All-Star game, or it's one where Doug Christie drops it back to him. But he had one, and he did it in actual games that was just sick. So there was one against the Raptors and the Hawks where he just goes right at Dikembe Mutombo and dunks on him. And Dikembe has no chance. But it's a greater one against the Clippers. This was in 1999. Okay. He's driving down the baseline, BT, and it looks like he's just trying to do a reverse layup. You know what I mean? Like guys go under, and they lay it up on the glass. He does that and then just smashes it in. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah,
it makes no sense that he maintained elevation that high to not even have to kiss it off the glass. He just smashed it over his head. It was unreal. So I'm going to say inbounds.
All right, I'm going to give you an unpopular answer. My answer is out of bounds. Okay. I don't think that Vince Carter is the best dunker in the NBA, in the history of the NBA. You mentioned MJ. You mentioned Dominique. You see, again, there's a couple. Now, his in-game dunks were sick, but there's some guys who were great dunkers in the showcase events, like the dunk contest, and then there's other guys who were great at both. And MJ was great at both, and Dominique Wilkins was great at both. Dr. J, although Dr. J's prowess was mainly in the ABA, the first slam dunk contest back in 1976 in Denver, when he jumped, even though he was inside the line, let's be real, but, he jumped from the foul line. That was ABA, not NBA, so if I want to be literal, I couldn't use him. I'll give you a guy during games that was a freakishly sick dunker, Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp.
True. He dunked angrily.
See, if I'm going to break down criteria for dunks, I need... first of all, 7-footer's not going to do it for you, even though Shaq was ferocious. But you got to actually jump, all right? So you need the ferocity, but you need the flair. And the flair usually comes in the legs. That's why Jordan was his dunks were such artistry. Because his legs were just, it sounds weird, but it's like his legs during the dunk were magical. Like they really were, I don't know how, I can't explain it. You know what I mean if you know what I mean. But I'm going to say out of bounds, and I have to give Sean Kemp some props because he threw some in-game dunks that I think mirrored and, in a lot of occasions or on occasions, exceeded what the great Vince Carter did. So I'm going to say out of bounds. So we don't know if there's going to be a baseball season yet, but although I said yesterday there will be, and I'll stand by that. Who knows how many games, we'll find out. But the one thing the league's already decided is that team broadcasters will not travel and announce road games from the road stadium. Instead, they'll call the games from the home stadium or a local studio while watching the game on TV. I said this yesterday as well. So if you're doing a Yankee game, maybe you go to either FAN Studios for the radio or you go up to Yes TV Studios in Connecticut, whatever. In or out, calling games from a TV screen rather than live at the game will significantly impact the broadcast.
Inbounds, BT. You know this better than I do because baseball is so much about the intricacies and the things that you see that the viewer at home can't see. That informs what's about to happen. Now they're just a viewer at home. So, this is going to significantly impact it. Like NASCAR, you can get away with it. And NASCAR has done that a little bit.
I agree with you, by the way.
Basketball, maybe you can get away with it a little bit. Baseball, it's too meticulous of a sport to not be there.
You can't do, you're going to have to do it, but the answer is easily inbounds here. Balls and strikes will remain unaffected, but think about positioning in the outfield, outfield depth. So if you have a man on first base or a man on second base, and there's a little bloop, if you're in the booth and you have the whole shot of the stadium, you have an immediate sense, shortstop's dropping back, but that thing's going to drop. Guy doesn't have to tag. He does have to tag. He's going to score from second on a 3-hopper to right field because the guy's playing deep or near the line.